Hello everyone, my name is Ashley Weaver and I'm a crop insurance specialist with Farm Credit Mid-America. I cover the Mansfield, Worcester, and Oberlin offices and thought it was important that I share this newer product with you. Today I'm going to review the margin protection policy that not only mitigates yield and price risk, it also protects you from most of the risk associated with your input costs increasing between when you make your planting decisions and when you actually buy and use your inputs. This highly subsidized shallow loss product that can pay $1.20 for every dollar of loss is something we are going to want to consider for next year's crop. It helps leverage opportunities and mitigate risk better than any other subsidized product on the market for those with yields that track the county. These are Farm Credit Mid-America's foundational business principles. These principles are why we believe margin protection can help us put in place a price floor very early in the planning stages for next year's crop on all of your anticipated acres. Establish minimums that cover as many of your input costs as possible, and leave open the option of leveraging opportunity if the markets rally. Here are Farm Credit Crop Insurance's fundamentals of risk management. Understanding margin protection will help us better understand your exposures and create a decisive plan that we will execute when the time is right. Costs are so high relative to safety nets that there is no way to save our way into prosperity. We have to focus on leveraging opportunity and making money. This is why we help customers document their minimum revenue and price goals throughout the year. The revenue formula is pretty simple. Yield times price equals revenue. Revenue plans help you cover risk associated with yield and price drops. The guaranteed market price times your approved yield times your coverage level is your revenue guarantee. But what's missing? Your input cost. What happens if you grow your approved yield and the crop insurance final price equals the February average, but the cost of fuel, fertilizer, and your operating loan interest are all higher than you expected? The answer is you still suffer a loss, because while you exceeded your RP crop insurance guarantee, your input costs increases ate you alive. The margin formula takes into consideration these input costs that can spike higher. Margin protection, or MP, is an area-based plan that uses the same harvest price as your revenue protection policy. MP offers coverage levels up to 95%. Our belief at Farm Credit Mid-America is that if an area plan is good for your operation, you should take advantage of all that it has to offer. If the area plan is not a good fit with your operation, then we need to stay as far away from it as possible. Another very nice option available to us with MP is the ability to purchase an underlying base policy with individual coverage, such as a revenue protection policy. And you get a premium credit applied to your MP premium when you do. What we have seen is that you can add an 80 or 85% RP individual plan of coverage for little additional cost because of the premium credit for the duplicative risk covered by both policies. Another advantage for the underlying RP policy is the replant and prevent plan coverage. Additionally, MP can pay $1.20 for every dollar of loss. Unlike what people have done with RP policy, which has been to try and save money by buying down to a lower coverage levels, we do not want to make the same mistake with an area plan of coverage. With this in mind, we will be exclusively looking at the 95% 120 level coverage. You will also notice when you stack an RP policy with an MP policy, you get the greater of the indemnities associated with those policies. Occasionally, this may result in you receiving a portion of the total indemnity in the fall near harvest and the rest of the indemnity payment the following summer when the final county production yields are published by RMA. Let's go over to our indemnity calculator to look at a couple scenarios to see how margin protection would work. What I have pulled up here is for the 2020 crop year, the crop that is currently in the ground. Farmers that are taking advantage of this would have made this decision last fall to purchase the MP policy. I picked Richland County, but know that all counties would work the same. The only difference would be the county yield. You can see Richland County's expected yield is 177.6. The final county yield won't be discovered until next summer when all the production is reported. Our projected price is set at $403, and our harvest price right now is averaging at $355. So that's looking at the December futures for corn. You will notice that some of these prices are the same. The expected and harvest prices are the same. Due to COVID, during the discovery periods, the markets weren't available. So for the 2020 crop year, these were just set to be flat. It's important to note that these values will not match what your input costs are. The values used in margin protection were derived from working with Ohio State University during the development process. Your actual individual input costs do not impact whether or not you have a claim. So if we hit calculate, we can see there is an estimated indemnity of $46 an acre for Richland County corn. We can also compare this to an RP policy. So if you have an APH of 177 and you grow an average crop, the spring price for revenue protection policy was $388, and then the harvest price would match what we use for the MP policy. And you can see that at an 85% RP policy, you are short from an indemnity about almost $44. We can change this to 2021, keep everything the same. You will notice that the expected county yield did not change. So those expected yields were released last week, and there were multiple counties in Ohio that did not change from 2020. So those expected county yields will remain the same. The projected price is averaging at $376 today. These will be final in the middle of September. Our harvest price, so that's something we can speculate and put whatever we want in here. So if we have a good crop of corn this year, a lot of inventory, and a decent growing season next year, we could see this at $335 next fall. We'll leave all the other input costs flat and hit calculate. And this is showing an estimated payment of $47 for MP. And then again, we can compare it to an RP policy. The spring price would be discovered next March. So we could say that that comes in at $365, and the harvest price would match the MP at $335. So with these numbers, an 85% policy, you're about $44 short of an indemnity. So you can see how the margin protection policy just closes the gap that you have with your revenue protection policy. It's important for us to go over these details now and for you to be fully informed on margin protection, because the final date to choose margin protection for the 2021 crop year is September 30th. I want to thank you for taking the time to learn more about this product and let you know that if you would like to learn more or schedule a time to go through different scenarios or how this would look for your farm, to get in touch with me. My contact information is on the screen, or you could get in contact with your loan officer and they could put us in contact together. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a nice day.